So as usual, I am recording this session using OBS Studio, and I will share the YouTube video link within the next class. Otherwise I will share it today itself if the net is working properly. I am having some problems in my in-laws home, so I came to my wife's place. So if the net is disconnected, no worries, the session will be shared later. Okay, so in the previous class we have seen about the functions and procedure called sequence. Okay, how the function is called, calling function, called function, function declaration, function definition. We have looked into that in a very deep way. If you are having any doubts, you can clarify through email or through the WhatsApp group. No issues. You can send me the audio messages too. Okay, so no issues at all. So prerequisite means you need to know about this concept before entering into the today's session. Okay, so there is lot of data structures. Basically the stack is one of the important data structure. Okay, you come across this kind of stack in hotel queue or movie ticket giving queue. Okay, if you want to get a movie ticket in a theater, you will get into a queue, right? So that will be first in first out. Okay, that is called queue. Here this is called as stack, last in first out, which means if you are putting it first, it will come out as last. Okay, pile of bills. You may come across what do you call that, a sharp needle, right, which is used to keep the recorded bills, right, bills. So that's called stack of bills. Okay, maybe I can give a image to understand about stack, pile of bills. So this is called pile of bills. If you want to take the last one, you need to remove this first one, so that nothing will be changed, otherwise the flow will be disturbed. Okay, you can look into this one, right? This is what I tell. There is a needle inside the base, so the first in will be the last out. Okay, first in, last out. Last in, first out. Okay, if the element is coming at last, it will get out of the stack at the earliest. Okay, at the first place. So this is what a pile does. Okay, so this is called stack, last in first out. Okay, so we are having arrays to implement this kind of stacks. Okay, so today we are going to see about activation record. Control stack is a runtime stack. Okay, here we are having some stack, so which is used to keep track of live procedure activations. So which procedures are activated, so which are not been activated, those kind of things will be collected in the control stack. So this is a runtime stack which keeps on tracking the live procedures. Okay, so when the procedure is called, then the procedure name will be pushed into the stack. Okay, so after it completed, it will be popped out. Okay, push, insert, pop, delete. Okay, push, insert, pop means delete. So this is also used to manage the information needed by single execution of a procedure. In order to run a procedure, we need to keep on track this activation record. Okay, so whenever a procedure is called, an activation record is pushed into the stack, and after the called function returns some value, then it will be popped out. Okay, so this is the content of activation records. First one is return value, actual parameters, control link, access link, saved missing status, local data, temporaries. So about this content we will look into deep in these slides. So the first one is return value. So what value the calling procedure will return, so that's called return value. Actual parameters, this is the parameters which holds some values which will be given to the procedure while running it. Okay, we need to give some values to the procedures or functions so that it can work on the data. Okay, the parameter is the actual data. The next one is control link. So this control link is used to point to activation record of the caller. Okay, this is actually it works like a pointer. Okay, so it points to the activation record so that it can know who is the callee. Okay, so access link, so other than the local data, okay, other than the local data needs to be referred in other activation records. So those kind of thing will be given by access link. Okay, so control link provides the necessary data, okay, the local data, but access link provides the non-local data so that it can communicate with other activation records in order to get the data, okay, from some other classes. Saved machine status, okay, the procedure is moving into the stack from the stack, so it's moving on again and again. Okay, so the status have to be old. Okay, so here the machine status will be saved, and while moving some data, there will be some local data inside the function. Okay, in order to execute the procedure, the function needs to have some data, so those data will be stored in local data. And the last one is temporaries. So while evaluating some expressions, there will be some temporary data. Okay, if you are linking to the board mass, bracket, order of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Okay, so in order to do those kind of board mass operations, it needs to have some intermediate values. So those values will be stored in the temporaries. So these are the 7 contents of activation records. So in order to run a single procedure, we need to have these kind of contents. So this much complication have been handled by the compiler. So parameter passing methods. In the previous class, we have seen about the functions. Here we are seeing about how can we send the parameters. Okay, how can we send the values to the functions. Okay, there are 2 ways. One is pass by value and the next one is pass by reference. The first one is pass by value, means a copy of data will be held and it will be sent to the function. Okay, the value will be given in the calling function and the value will be accessed at the definition part. Okay, this is called pass by value. Value will be passed. The next one is reference. So value means 10. Okay, if there are 2 variables a and b, a hold 10 and b hold 11. Okay, so the value will be sent in the pass by value. So you can think like here we are having a variables. Okay, we will have a program, so at that time we will discuss. Okay, so pass by value is one of the method and the next one is pass by reference. Reference, right? So reference means pointer. If we are using pointers inside the function, okay, then it is said to be pass by reference. Instead of sending the value, okay, instead of sending the value directly to the definition of the function, we are sending the value through a reference. Okay, through a pointer. So that's called pass by reference. So we will look into the program so that you can easily understand about this concept. So this is the first program. So here we are calling the preprocessor statement / include stdio.h. The next one is, excuse me, right, the next one line is void main. Okay, the main function doesn't return any values and here we are declaring 2 numbers, number 1 and number 2. Sorry. So here we are declaring the function named swap with 2 parameters. Here we are initializing the number 1 and number 2. So we can make it as like this. Okay, so we can delete these 2 lines because we are already initialized over here. Okay, so before swap we are printing the values in number 1 and number 2. here we are calling that function, and here the definition part. Okay, after the function is called here, it will go to this function void swap int a comma int b. The value passed over here is saved in a and b. Here we are declaring a temporary variable and we are swapping, okay, trying to swap the content a to temporary and b to a and temporary to b. So we are moving the value a to b and b to a. So we are having a temporary variable so that we can transfer the value easily. So a is moved to temporary. So a is now free. So b is transferred to a and b is free right now. So temporary value is holding the a value. So we are moving the value a to b. Okay, if we run this one, we can look into this statement, which is the result from this set of statements. Number 1, num1 equal to 10, num2 equal to 20. Even after the swap, the value doesn't change because the value is not returned here. In the previous class itself I have told we cannot send two values, we can return only one value. Okay, we can make it like this. Okay, so I am declaring a third variable so that you can understand the real concept here. Okay, in the previous code the number is not swapped at all. Okay, but now one value can be sent. Void value. Okay, sorry, we need to declare into over here. Now you can see the number 3 holds the b value. Okay, so if I return the statement b, it will print as 10. Okay, now it's working, but we need to swap the two numbers, but the function can return only one value. Okay, in order to swap these two value, but we need to understand we cannot send two values, so that we will use the reference, right, method, pass by reference method. Here you can see just we are putting int star star. Okay, int space star and int space star, and while sending the value, okay, through the number 1 and number 2, we are using ampersand symbol. Ampersand represents address of. Okay, address of, and point star means value at. Okay, so value at, and ampersand represents address of. So after this statement is executed, the value is passed over here Okay, here we are using address of and we are using value at. Okay, so value at that address it will be called. Okay, so now we are using the pointer because we declared the reference as pointer over here. Okay, we need to if we need to access this reference we need to use the pointer. Okay, so in the previous program you can see we doesn't have any changes. Okay, just we added ampersand over here and star over here and star over here and star over the variables. Okay, nothing else changed. So now if we run this statement the number is swapped right now. Now you can look, the number is swapped in the real time. In the pass by value the value doesn't change at all, but in the pass by reference the value is changed. Okay, the number is swapped between the two numbers. So this is the way to achieve swapping of two numbers. As well as to return two values at the same time or more values at same time. Okay, whatever the number of parameters is available it will return if you use the call by reference. Okay, the next one is static allocation and stacked allocation. Okay, static and stack. So static, dynamic. Okay, so static means constant, never changes. Okay, at the compile time itself the allocation of all the data objects will be done. Okay, it is possible only when the compiler knows the size of data object at compile time itself. So each and everything is done at compile time itself. So the size of data object will be allocated at the compile time itself. But when the runtime occurs, if there is a change in the data object size, there will be some runtime errors. So in this type of allocation, formation of data objects is not possible under any circumstances at runtime. So this is what I told. At runtime there is no changes available at all. In static allocation, compiler decides the amount of storage for each data object and binds the name of data objects to the allocated storage. So at the duration of the compilation time itself, the compiler decides how much amount of storage is needed for each data object, so that it will binds the values, binds the name of data objects to the storage space which is allocated already. The next one is stack allocation. So this is a procedure in which stack is used to organize the storage. So previously we held with a static space. Here we are organizing the storage using the stack allocation process. So as in the previous slide, the stack is used in the stack allocation which is known as control stack. Okay, stack used in stack allocation. how much we need to have in the stack, which is handled by another stack. Okay, stack allocation. Okay, so that's control will be held by control stack. So this is a very dynamic one. Okay, so the creation of data objects is performed dynamically, as well as activation records are created for the allocation of memory. So how much of allocation of memory will be done at activation records, so which is already discussed in the previous slides. So these activation records are pushed onto the stack using last in first out method, because this is a stack operation. Okay, last in will be first out, LIFO. Okay, locals are stored in the activation records at runtime, and memory addressing is done by using pointers and registers. So in order to occur the values during the runtime which are stored in the activation records, which is mainly done by these pointers as well as the registers like EAX. Okay, so by using pointers means we can also consider about the access link, control link, right? So those will act like pointer. Okay, and I already told that one too. Okay, so this is the difference between the static and stack allocation. Okay, static means it doesn't work as a dynamic one. Okay, it will be static, and this is dynamic. That's the first one. So each and everything is discussed in the previous slide itself, but still for the better understanding, I will discuss right now. So static means static. Okay, stack allocation means dynamic. Static allocation allocates the data objects during the compilation time, and this done at the runtime. So static allocation cannot support the recursive procedures, because the value will be changed and the data object will be what you call that, expanded, right? So it can be done in static allocation, but in stack allocation it will be the recursive procedure can be done. Okay, so the pitfall, right? It's not able to manage the allocation of memory at runtime. This one can manage the allocation of memory at runtime. So this one will be fixed and this one will be the dynamic, because stack allocation uses the index and registers. Here the compilation time itself, each and everything will be binded. Static will be very simple because it doesn't have any major features. Okay, it is not dynamic, so it will be very easy only. But in the stack allocation it will be slower than static allocation, but it will be better when the dynamic is needed. So that's the way we need to think. Whether your program is needed in a dynamic way, then you need to go for stack allocation. But if you want to handle only very particular and stick to the strict sizable data objects, then you can consider about using the static allocation. Okay, so as a programmer you need to think which one is better for your program or your application. So on that way only you need to think, so that you can create some good programs and you can be a good programmer in future. So that's it for us for today. If you have any doubts, you can ask me right now.